Welcome to our show all about self discovery. Today, I have an absolutely amazing guest with us, Adrian, who is, in my eyes, just an absolute superhuman. And the reason why I consider him as a superhuman because not only he is very successful, but he is very kind in his heart. He is a real soul's person, and he is so warm that every time you speak to Adrian, you just think, oh my God, what a phenomenal man. Adrian, thank you so much for coming onto this show today, all about self-discovery journey. And I'm so excited to share with people all about you, your journey, who you become as a result, and everything else you want to share.
Fantastic, Olga. Great to be here.
It's wonderful. Do you want to share a little bit with us where you're based? Because I know all about you, right? But do you want to share
Hmm.
where you're based right now? What exactly do you do? And a little bit of your
Hmm.
story before we jump into the big self-discovery journey.
Yes. Parcel Pass Transport, my business, Pass Logistics, as it's becoming now. We are based in Doncaster. We are UK and European, predominantly road transport business. We're a logistics partner for some of the major logistics businesses around the world. Road transport is predominantly our main focus of business. Same day UK delivery services, European dedicated delivery services, import and export. And we work, like I say, with some of the major logistics companies on strong contracts. We're trusted with the HMP prison service, with some of the rail industries. Proud to say we've moved on to moving PPE, ventilating equipment into the UK and out of the UK. Of which we've been very proud to do and trusted upon to do by some very large companies. So that's where we're at as of today. We've got a team of 7 passionate, strong characters that I've picked myself to develop as a family, where we all want to progress and we all want to do something special. So it's not just a business, it's a family.
Which is wonderful. But I also know that it wasn't that very smooth journey because right now it is doing really big things, right? But it wasn't like that, wasn't it, Adrian?
No, no, it wasn't like that at all. No, it wasn't.
Oh, was it
It's
challenging?
taken great character. It's been challenging losing your best customer when the business is 18 months old, things like that. Challenging times with obviously the economy, COVID-19, worrying times of that coming upon us. Lots of challenges, especially into an industry I knew nothing about. 2017, I started this business up and I went into a transport industry where I knew nothing about transport. I bought a van and I didn't even know what the long wheelbase van meant.
I love that. So it wasn't only self-discovery about yourself, it was a business discovery too.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, yeah. But I mean, the self, burning desire to discover my own potential and my own strength inside of me was the driving force. How I fell into the transport industry was pretty much was a bit of a story in itself.
Oh, tell us about it because so many people say, "Oh, I have this opportunity in front of me, but I'm not sure should I take it." Or I have this coming up, but I'm not sure if there's the right thing to do. Could you please tell us more how actually it happened? Because I'm sure that played a really big and important part in your journey, wasn't it?
It was. I mean, the word pass, obviously, parcel pass logistics came from positive attitude soccer skills, actually.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. I was going to start a soccer school up. I spent 23 years in electrical wholesaling. And after, 23 years in the electrical wholesaling industry, running up to, a business manager and making a good living for myself. My sidekick in 2017 was I started coaching children's football. So one of my passions was coaching football, to children and learning the kids' life skills. I learned a lot of life skills through playing football. When the chips are down in that moment, when you're getting beat 2-0 with 15 minutes left in a cup final or whatever, you've got to dig deep with your teammates.
wow.
You've got to be strong. And I was the captain and I had to grabbed the team by the scruff of the neck, and I learned a lot, you know, about life through football. So I wanted to give that back by coaching children's football, and positive attitude, soccer skills, pass was going to be my business when I left the electrical wholesaling industry. But after doing a business plan for that, it wasn't going to get me to where I needed to be financially. And after 23 years in electrical wholesaling, in quite a high pressure job, I considered to be, I wanted to be free, Olga. I just wanted to be free. I wanted to stick to steel toe cap boots on for the first time. I wanted to put an Ivy's jacket on for the first time. And I just wanted to meet people, you know, and get out there and just do deliveries. And my mum saw a van for sale in Doncaster, and she told me about this van, and a friend of mine, you know, said to me, you can go on an exchange and you can get work and you can do deliveries. And I figured after 23 years in business in Doncaster and in Yorkshire, I've not done much wrong by people or anything wrong by people. So I was given an opportunity from businesses, from my previous sector, to do deliveries for them.
Wow. So basically, it was a result also of collaborations which you had before. And this actually shows once more how important it is to build relationships and to keep relationships going. Because now you went into this which you have no clue about, you don't know what it's all about, but you actually managed to get some more from other people. That's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, all my life I've had to cold call, you know, I remember being 18, 19 years old, being the first sales rep for an electrical wholesaling company, and getting the yellow pages out, and I had to find business. I had to find business in the yellow pages, knocking on doors, you know, and just digging out companies and seeing a solution for what we could sell to that business, whether it be an electrical contract or it'd be a manufacturing industry. So I was always quite good at getting out there and finding business and digging out work, you know, digging out opportunities.
Love that. Absolutely love that. But you know what's interesting is when people say right now, oh, it's so difficult to build business, we have these challenges. You had to go through yellow pages.
Yes. Yeah, to go through the yellow pages at 19 years old, ring people up, ask to go and see them, sitting in the living room. And I remember sitting in the house of one customer, and he was spending something, you know, this is 1996. He was spending £50,000 a month with one of my competitors. And I couldn't wait to get back to the office and tell my boss. I couldn't wait to say I'd found this customer that spends £50,000 a month with one of our competitors. You know, great. Let's get into them and you know, and digging out them opportunities like that.
Yeah.
And that's what happened with Parcel Pass. That's, you know, we're knocking into 2017, 18, 19, and that's what I had to do with Parcel Pass. Yes, you've got LinkedIn. Yes, you've got other social media platforms to find work, but the core of it was being persistent with knocking on doors and still that, you know, still knocking on doors, still looking for business, you know, making the phone calls, picking the phone up to people, doing what other people wouldn't do, you know.
Absolutely, I love that. But you know, it sounds very logical, and it sounds that it is that easy, you know, just go and do it. But Adrian, how many challenges did you have to overcome? How many barriers did you have to break within yourself and your confidence? And did you have that confidence and, you know, those balls to actually go and do it?
Well, I did, and I had to, overcoming fear. You know, I started the business without any money. I bought a van for £3,000 with a business loan I got from startup loans through the chamber. I did the Doncaster Chamber, the business startup course with the chamber. The Doncaster Chamber was fantastic, so I did the business course with them, the startup course, and yes, definitely, I faced some challenges. But there was one point before I started this business which really gave me a self-belief, and I was working in electrical wholesaling, and obviously I started my journey coaching the children's football. And one particular game, we was playing a cup semi-final. And after this game, which we won, but a couple of weeks after, the manager who I was playing against, he wrote to the chairman of Bessica Football Club, which is one of the biggest community football clubs in Doncaster. He wrote to the chairman and said, in all of his time as football, he's never met anybody so enthusiastic, so positive, and such a great attitude with children
Wow.
in all his time of football. And he wrote this to the chairman about me.
That is so powerful. How did it make you feel?
Well, just a feeling that money can't buy. It made me feel so proud. My own son is in this football team, and I've got a bunch of kids there who are a team, who, like I said before, who are fighting for each other, who are playing for each other, who are working together. And for him to say that, it really gave me a lot of self-belief. In fact, it made me believe that there was something better out there. There was something more, rather than just selling lighting and selling cable in electrical wholesale. And I just thought I could give more.
I love that. I really love that. And this is so special. And you're right. You can never buy that feeling. Whatever you get in life, whatever you earn in life, you can never get that feeling of satisfaction when somebody appreciates you so much for something what you have given.
Yeah.
It's so powerful. It's so powerful. I love the fact how much you have grown through your business. But what would you say was kind of the biggest challenge on your self-discovery, on your journey really in your life? What was the biggest trouble or the biggest thing? Like, I know it made you who you are, but what was that challenge?
I think one of the moments was actually just believing in myself and loving who I am, loving who I am as a person, and the abilities that I've got. I think my mum wrote me a note when I'd started the business. I think it was 2018. We went in to see a customer in the rail industry, and it was a breakthrough for us. Real breakthrough in that meeting, through persistence, through nothing else but being persistent, but delightfully persistent as well. And my mum wrote me a note saying how proud she was of me and how well I'd done. And she left it in my kitchen, and I couldn't read it. I struggled to read this note from my own mother saying how proud she was of me. And that's the kind of place I was in, of self-love and self-belief. I still had this belief, don't get me wrong, because I'd started a business. This is only going back a few years, and the thing happened with the children's football. But in that moment where I couldn't read that note, I started to notice a few things about myself, the self-love and the self-belief. So that got me intrigued, really. Got me intrigued, got me intrigued in how possibly, if I loved who I was and loved being in my own skin, where I actually could be. Somebody said to me, I've had to work doubly hard to get where I've got because of my own self-love, my own belief in myself. I've had to exhaust myself twice as hard to get where I've got. Wow. So if I want to reach the places I'm going to, which I'm going to reach them places, then, this journey is still ongoing.
I love that. And you're so right there, Adrian. And many people face the same issue, actually. People are pushing themselves so hard, specifically using the word hard. They compare themselves to other people. They set up completely unachievable goals. And as a result, their self-love drops more and more. And then they allow other people to break them. They allow other people to affect their life direction, their journey, and what they do, and their confidence. And very, very rarely people actually can say, you know what, I love myself. This is such a rare thing. And sometimes people say, yeah, but that's a bit selfish. And I will say, no, it's not selfish. It is a healthy self-care, healthy self-love and self-appreciation, because we can never give to other people from our heart if we don't have self-love there. What was your first step towards that? Like, how did you start the journey? What was for you, one of the maybe, steps towards loving yourself? Because obviously it is a journey and it is a lifelong journey. The more we grow, the different challenges we face and different difficulties. But what was the one step which other people can also do? Or if you have more, you can share more steps, of course. But how, what would you share with other people? What can they do in order to grow and also in order to love themselves more?
Well, I think that falls into, I mean, there is many aspects of growing your own confidence through achieving things regularly and taking the small steps to the elevator of success, which the small steps are still going now. But I believe it's how you talk to yourself, how kind you are to yourself as a person, and using your imagination as well. What you think of is what you are. Your mind, your body doesn't really know any different apart from what your mind is actually seeing or thinking. And your imagination is so strong. And how you talk to yourself and how you perceive yourself and what you imagine yourself to be, that really has a massive effect on how you feel about you. And I can honestly say, meditation, that meditating and using my imagination to think of delightful things about myself, to think of good thoughts, positive thoughts, nice thoughts, the way you talk to yourself, that's really got to be really up there for me.
I so agree with you. So agree with you. And so often people actually talk about themselves very negatively, not only about themselves to other people, saying, "Oh, I'm always whatever, late or stupid. I can never make it happen," but also to themselves during the day. And it's quite interesting when I start challenging people actually here in my office. I'm like, what did you say about yourself? It's quite interesting how people say like, well, yeah, but I've always been that way. And it's quite fascinating how you don't have to be always that way. If someone told someone that you are that way, it doesn't mean you have to continue being that way. And it's also about the choice to decide one day that, you know what, no, I will be kind to myself and I'll be talking nicely to myself. This is so powerful.
It is, and the mind and the body working together. You don't realize it, but your mind and your body can work against each other. It can, and your body is as of what your mind thinks and how your mind is. So let's get his mind and his bodies working together. Let's be a bit nicer to ourselves. Let's think nice thoughts. Oh, I don't look rubbish in this. Oh, am I having a bad hair day? Or I don't feel good today. Yes, we're going to have days where we don't feel so good, but at least be kind to yourself. I remember getting up in the morning and thinking to myself, I'm going to be nice to everyone today. Yes. I'm just going to be delightful to everyone. But somebody said to me, have you actually thought about getting up in the morning and think I'm going to be nice to you that day? Didn't they, Olga?
I was like, come on, what about you? Exactly. And how often people do put others above themselves, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It's all about others. It's all about pleasing others. It's all about making sure everybody's happy. It's all about making sure everybody's smiling, everybody's comfortable. But hello, what about yourself?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, reflecting on the journey sometimes, and that's what I don't do enough. I don't reflect on how I've got to grow a business as we are, from buying a van and not knowing anything about this industry.
Yeah.
And sometimes let's just stop and reflect on the good things we've done, the good things we've achieved. We always want to get to the peak, but let's try and admire the view from halfway up, because it's the lessons we've learned, and I used to call them mistakes, but they're not the lessons. Now the lessons are in the valleys. Let's have a look down at the valleys, because they're as beautiful as the peaks.
I love that. I love exactly what you said there. Why not to stop and admire the view from the place where you are right now and acknowledge how far you have come.
Yeah. It looks beautiful up there, but let's not struggle so much going up there, because let's admire how we've got to where we are now. Yeah, definitely.
It's so true. It's really interesting. Right this morning, it's really bizarre how things happen the same day. Right this morning, I had an interview with the Australians, and they asked me a question, Olga, do you think there are any guarantees in life? And I said, yes, of course there is. There is one really important guarantee. You're going to die. Like, that's guaranteed. Right?
Yeah.
No matter how long is your life, there is the guarantee you're going to die. Right? But the question is, what other people will talk about you when you are dead? right? And I know in a lifetime, we should never care about what other people think because it's about us, it's about our life, our achievements, our views, in a sensible way, of course, not in a nasty way, right? But I think what we should think about is what other people will tell about us on that gravestone, on a graveyard. Who did you become as a result, right? What did you do in life? Have you changed something? Have you, I don't know, invented something? What have you done? What legacy have you left? And I think
Yeah.
it's so powerful. And what you said there is just so powerful. Enjoy your journey because guarantee is only one. You will die. But enjoy the journey. And every so often stop, observe the view, and thank yourself how far you have come.
And meditating on positive thoughts is so important to me, you know, and it's something I've learned. I didn't know about meditation, if I'm doing it right or if I'm doing it wrong, you know, but learning upon anybody who's starting meditation or wants to start to get into it, just try and start to think about positive thoughts, and you're going to get negative thoughts, but just let them flow as well. And yes, a challenge. It's a challenge to keep thinking positive thoughts, and you're not doing it wrong if you're thinking negative thoughts too. But all of a sudden, the positive thoughts will come through, and then you just start feeling like something special is going to happen. And I remember in July 2018, I just really thought that it was moments in my life where I just felt like something good was going to happen. I got up in the morning and I felt like something good was going to happen. You know, and going back onto imagination and vision, in May 2018, I met a lady at the Doncaster Wildlife Park who said to me, "You should go for Business Startup of the Year for Doncaster."
Wow.
Yeah. And obviously I'd heard about the Doncaster Business Awards, you know, 900 people there, the likes of, you know, Doncaster Airport there, Wabtec Rail, some big companies in the Yorkshire area that attend this and win these awards. So the lady said to me, "You should go for the Business Startup of the Year." And a big part of starting my business up has been my imagination. You know, I've always had a strong, free-flowing imagination. So I think a big part of that was when this lady said to me, "You should go for the Business Awards." I looked into the Business Awards, and I wrote it on my calendar on the wall, the old Sasco calendars at home, and I put the date on December 2014. 14th of December 2018, Doncaster Business Awards. I'm going to get there. I'm going to be in the finals. I'm going to get to them finals. And this was May, so this was May 2018, and I just saw myself. I saw it in my mind. I saw myself getting to these awards. I saw myself working in schools locally to talk to secondary school children about their own ambitions and their own self-belief from deprived areas who can make something of themselves and believe in themselves. You know, talking to 120 kids each day I went, 120 children, and then this was leading up to this business award, and then we won it. We won, you know, in front of 900 people. I won Business Startup of the Year for Doncaster.
Wow, that is amazing. And you know what? I can imagine the feeling because I've been to the Business Awards myself as well. Last year, I was invited to, and I went there, and it was a beautiful night. And the feeling, the atmosphere there is so amazing. And seeing people going onto the stage and being so happy. And it's a pity I haven't been on that night when you won your award. It was a few years ago. But I really can imagine how you felt. It's a wonderful, wonderful feeling. And I'm so proud of you doing that. So proud of you. But it's so powerful what you said there. I was imagining myself being there. I was imagining myself doing all this great stuff. And you know, my question here is because some people will say, no, Adrian, this is so wishy-washy. But how we can convince people that actually it is working? Because I'm so with you on that. I'm so with you on that one. Okay. I wouldn't be here if I wouldn't be using my imagination too, right? So I'm so with you. But how can we help others who are not using their imagination to the full potential yet? What would you say from your own experience as you have done it as well? How to do it, how they can start using that? You know, what is the step-by-step guidance for that?
I mean, from this area, you know, obviously being from a mining village and one thing and another, you kind of was drilled into you. Don't be a daydreamer. You're a daydreamer, or you know, or stop dreaming. You know, but no, that's wrong. be a daydreamer. Dream about where you want to be in your life. Stop and have a moment. You don't have to close your eyes and listen to some music and meditate about where you want to be. Have your coffee in the morning, sit in a chair, have a moment. You know, we all get up and watch the news or whatever. We all get up and check Facebook. We all get up and check the social media. Have a coffee and just think about where you want to be, where you want your life to go. You know, whether it's in a relationship, whether it's in business, whether it's with your children. Do you want a better relationship with your children? You know, what can you do in that moment? What can you think of how you want your life to lead? And that's very important, you know. Do this 2-3 times a day. Think about where you want it to go, where you're at, and patience too, you know. So that's what I advise people to do.
I love it. That is so powerful. Without any pressure, just sit back and think. Think back and dream. Just let it flow whatever it takes you to. It doesn't matter where it takes you, but allow it to happen in your mind. But you know, very, very often, and this is a very common thing, what happens alongside clients who come in to work with me, you know, it's a way of, oh yeah, I know who I want to be, or I know what I want to achieve. And then all of a sudden people feel like, oh, you know what, I lost my passion, or I'm not sure if I want it anymore. And I remember I was also in the same place. For me, it was like, well, okay, now I'm in UK. I achieved my dream, which I always was dreaming about, being in UK. Now what? What would you
Mm,
say on that? What's your view on,
mm,
you know, when you reach something, or when you
mm,
realize that, yeah, I always wanted that, but
mm,
do I want it now? What would you say about that?
mm. Well, look, your subconscious pretty much controls 75% of your thoughts.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
definitely.
they're only going to control the thoughts. Your imagination is going to be a part and a makeup of the things you've previously experienced in your subconscious mind.
Yes.
So if you imagine and look to the future of what you want rather than picking the pieces up off your history, then your subconscious mind is going to give the 75% strength to that future thought, which is how you're going to perceive your future.
Love it. Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll still keep looking at the past.
Yes.
And, you know, as dreams change, my dreams change, but that's okay. You know, it's okay for your dreams to change slightly through circumstances or things that may happen. Let your dreams change. Just find a new passion, a new love, something else that you'd like. And if it changes tomorrow, it changes tomorrow. But definitely, you know, like I said, your imagination and your subconscious is so strong. So don't let the past part of the imagination control what you want in the future.
Love it. Love it. Oh my God, Adrian, your words is just like music to my ears. It's like music to my ears. Because you're so right. And very often, if you go to school, and obviously you do go to school, but those who never been to school, never been speaking to children, or in front of children, and not asking them questions, just have this full experience. Honestly, ask several children about what do they dream about. And you will see, and Adrian, I'm sure you know that. And what we can see when we ask different children what their aspirations, what they go,
Mm,
they're
mm,
all talking about stuff based on what their family is doing,
mm,
what
mm,
holidays they have been to, what drives they can drive, what cars they can drive,
mm,
houses they can live at. People always, in the
mm,
beginning, start thinking and aiming at things what they're aware of.
mm,
But that's why it's important
mm,
to just expand your horizon and see new things, and
mm,
expand your views on life, and dream
mm,
bigger, because only then you can achieve more. So,
mm,
oh my God, what you said is just music to
mm.
my ears. Absolutely. I love
Mm,
that.
thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it is. And I've watched, you know, I'll have to say a quick hello to my son Ryan, who's watching now. He's 11 years old. And, you know, I've watched him grow as well since I've developed and I've started my own business. And his mum's in a similar scenario as well. His mum's, you know, achieving things with her own business. And, you know, and then you see him getting stronger and him believing in himself more, you know, and that's something that, you know, you don't actually realize that you're giving back when it comes to growing your own business. Um,
True. It's very true. And the biggest realization, I think, what many business owners forget about is that they become a completely different person as a result
mm,
of them running a business.
Yes, yes, they do. Yes.
You grow at so many different levels.
Mm.
Who do you think you became as a result of that? What do you think? How exactly do you think your business shaped you as a result of you're discovering yourself? What role your business played in it?
It's shaping myself. It's shaping myself. Um, I think it's constantly shaping me. Like I said earlier, I think looking back at what I've achieved is something that I need to be more mindful of. And leading, I think as a leader, as a natural leader, I think the business is shaped to a point where I never thought it could get to. Like I say, the European division of it now, which is growing so strong, and the people's lives that work for me, the people that work for me, and the way the lives have been changed and been affected. And I love to control the atmosphere of the business as well, and I love everybody to come and be happy to work here, and to reward them as well personally. So yeah, it's I think shaped me as a leader, definitely. I think learning and listening to books with the likes of Brendan Burchard and Jim Rohn and Tony Robbins and Brian Tracy, and you wonder why people like Alan Sugar, for instance, have got to where they've got. How different are they? How different are they to me? I've started off with no money. I started this business without anything, and how different are these people that have achieved these things? What is it? Is it their qualifications? Is it have they been given money to start with? Are they more intelligent? No, they're not. They just have these things like vision and self-belief and dedication and persistence. So learn from them, learn from them.
That is so powerful. I love that. I love the fact how you reflected on becoming a leader. And this is so true. And this is something what many business owners forget about, that when you are in a business, you're first of all a leader. And it's up to you to become an influencer in an industry, in the world, wherever else. But first of all, you are a leader to your employees, to people with whom you work. You're a leader to your customers because you lead them as well. You make
Mm.
their choices easier when they work with you. And it's so powerful what you said about the growing. When you have to learn, and you mentioned all these big names, and I'm so with you on that one. I mean, I love learning a lot. And for me, learning is a massive part of my journey too. But because you mentioned a few names there and a few authors, I wonder, can you think of maybe one author or one book, one particular thing, which actually
Mm.
was like a light bulb to you? And that was like,
Mm.
oh, that's
Mm.
it.
Mm. Yeah, in the early days, obviously starting my van and driving around in my van, I didn't, I was listening to audiobooks. You being a sales rep back in the day, you've always taught to listen to audiobooks when you're driving around instead of some blazing tunes, but,
Yeah, exactly.
which I struggled with because I do like my music, but but I think I think Brian Tracy did a book called The Power of Discipline. No excuses. No excuses. The power of discipline. I think in the early days that was because I had to show so much discipline, working from home, balancing, trying to be trying to run my own business, get out there with the van, find work, earn enough money to pay the bills, and I think this particular book, Brian Tracy, The Power of Discipline, I needed that at that point. I needed that. I needed to be disciplined, I needed to be organized, and I must have listened to that book 4 or 5 times, the amount of times let's not just listen to the book and get to the end of it and think, yeah, I've done that.
Yeah.
Now let's go back to it. Let's listen to it again.
Love that. Love the fact you said it. Actually, you have to re-listen a few times. And this is so true. And even if you don't listen, I think even if you just read a book, and I'm so slow reader, I can't tell you, Adrian. When I read books, I am extremely slow because when I read, I write a lot in a book, and I do the homework, whatever they say to do in a book, I do it. I apply that. If I cannot do like a big transformation straight away, at least I'll make a plan about that. So I always act on a book. So for me, reading is really slow. I don't have problem
Mm,
reading, but I like
mm,
to apply things because I don't believe,
mm,
buying a book and putting on a shelf, or buying a book, reading and putting on a shelf. But it
mm,
doesn't matter, reading or listening is the same.
mm,
We have to go back again, again, because every
mm,
time we go back, our subconscious, we pick up
mm,
on something else.
mm,
And I call it like
mm,
next level learning, because you always pick up on
mm,
things which are at your level right now. And then if
mm,
you apply things, you grow. And when you release
mm,
or read a book, you
mm,
also listen, or
mm,
you hear, or you read
mm,
new things which
mm,
are, they've always been there before.
mm, mm,
You don't
mm,
click on that because they haven't been at
mm,
the level yet. And then you
mm,
level up, and then you release it again, you read again, and you pick up
mm,
new things again. And it's
mm,
marvelous
mm,
how every time
mm,
you find something new, isn't
mm.
it?
It is, and it intrigued me as well. What is the difference between like the elite sports athletes? You know, your Cristiano Ronaldo's, your Lionel Messi's, your elite sports people. Being a big football fan, what is the difference between them and the others? You know, it can't just be dedication. It can't just be hard work, and it's definitely not just talent, because we know talent is some of it. Um, and the big thing I picked up on was failure. You know, failing your way to success
Yes.
is something which I springs to mind for me and stays with me. You know, you maybe look at the failures some of these athletes have made, you know, and the failings they've done, and how they've learned from them, and how they've not made them mistakes again, maybe, or if they have, how they've learned again from more mistakes, from other things they've failed. You know, so failing your way to success is something when you get to the top, and these elite people, that's what they do.
I love
Yeah.
that. I love that. But let's imagine you are sitting there one day, and you are that big celebrity, right? And you are that person who, is just about to put all his life wisdom and life learnings into one book, right? What would you say? Because you were looking up at them, right? But there's so many people who look up at you already.
Mm,
Already. And I know all of us, we don't think that way, right? But we
mm,
already are influencing other people, right? We already are
mm,
changing other people's lives. So
mm.
let's imagine you are that person who is putting all that wisdom at one place. What would you share with people? What would you say, guys? If you want to go on a journey of self-discovery, do X, Y, Z. Like, this is the formula for self-discovery. What would you share with them?
I think it's got to be learning from your failures, from these failures that you may do, not giving yourself too much. Don't give yourself a hard time about them. Learn from them failures. We all have the same time. We all have the same minutes. We all have the same seconds in every day. Living in that moment and making the most of that time. Being persistent as well, you know. Whatever happened that day, whatever happened in this moment, it can change within hours. It can change within seconds. So I think some of them are the key aspects for me, you know, the persistence, the learning from failures, the talking well to yourself, talking nicely to yourself, using your imagination to think delightful thoughts and to think of a delightful future. Um, I think they're the things I'd probably roll into my book towards the end of my career, should I say.
I love that. I love it. How powerful is that? And how often people say, well, because I failed once, doesn't matter, relationships or business or just in general life, I know, health area or anything else. Because I failed once, I don't want to go back there again because I failed. Nobody
Mm,
wants to fail. What would you
mm.
say to them? Like, okay, you failed. What would be your advice? One, two, three. What they should do if they feel they failed and they don't want to go into failure? Because it's easy to say learn from your failures, but Adrian, how do we do it?
How do we learn from our failures? Um, just take the experience and then move forward. I think not hanging on to that. We talked about imagination and not hanging on to that failure. You know, look at it as a moment of joy. Look at it in a positive. Look, that failure was a moment of joy because you learned something from it. And don't hang on to it. Look at it as a nice, good experience. I still make failures, and sometimes I smile because of them failures, and yeah. So if I do make a mistake or I have failed at something, I like to smile about it now.
Love that, and laugh as well. I always laugh
Yeah.
about that. Yeah, I love the comment what we have here from Maria. Thank you so much, Maria, for this comment. Maria says there are no failures, there are lessons. Exactly,
Yes.
that's exactly what you referred to. That, yeah, learn from them. Just bring out the lessons out of everything what has happened. Love that. So powerful.
For years, Maria, I called them mistakes. It was a mistake. It was a mistake. Now it's not. It's lessons. Lovely lessons. Beautiful lessons.
Oh my God. This is like music to my ears. Love that. This is so powerful. You see, many people they're still in that zone of, oh yeah, I failed. And I always say, no, you just had a lesson. And I mean, how often, I know you learn a lot from videos and audiobooks, but how often have you come across somebody who would say, right, so I was born in a really great family, and my mom and dad, they were really loving, caring parents. And we had beautiful relationship with my siblings. I went to really good school. I had a really good job. And now I'm married to my beautiful husband or amazing wife. We have 3 beautiful children, beautiful house, beautiful car. And today I would like to inspire you how to have an awesome life.
What would I say to that person who's already in that position?
No, what would you say to the person who never had any troubles in their lives and that would want to inspire other people? What would you say to them?
I don't know if they'd be actually here speaking to me, to be honest. Would they? They probably wouldn't be searching. They probably wouldn't have the desire to search, to improve, to be better, to make something special of themselves from nothing.
Exactly. Exactly. And there's no such a thing as inspirational person who had no troubles. If you look at all inspiring leaders, if you look at all speakers, authors, people who are leaving some legacy behind their backs in this world, they all had something to overcome.
I loved my troubles, the troubles I've been through and the experience I've had, experiences I've had. When you get to 42 years old, of which I am, there's a lot that's happened. There's a lot that's happened, but taking the strength from that, do I want another 10 years of things happening and me not taking the strength and me not using them as lessons? No, I'm not going to take another 10 years of that. I'm going to start using the lessons and the things that I've learned in the past now to give me that strength and to give me that character. Losing my best customer, January 2019, 75% of my business, my best customer was doing, and this customer, he just stopped outsourcing transport, and it was 75% of my work. But I did notice 3 months earlier that this could be a triple, this could be a problem. So I started to, look for other work, started to implement more customers to the business, and then fortunately, when they did go, which I didn't know they was going to, we still had a good business going.
Wow, that can be so scary. Losing a customer, especially who plays such a big role, you should have a lot of courage to actually let it go and still carry on. You really require lots of bravery, lots of courage. It's just something what doesn't come that easily. Because many people, they probably would give up and they would say, oh, right now I lost my big business provider, so that's it, I'm done.
No,
and
I'm not failing. I'm not failing. I'm not going to fail. And that's not something saying I can't fail. It's just like failure is not an option. In fact, I can't even believe I'm saying that word.
Wow, I love that. Failure is not an option. This is really brave. But how do you think people could practice that? How they can learn to be more courageous? How they can learn to be more, to be more braver? How they can do that?
Look, I'm not asking or talking to people here to say start your own business or do what I've done, quit your job, with 6 weeks worth of money before you're in the mire. I'm not asking people to do that, but if people just want to genuinely feel better about themselves, if they want to get up in the morning and look in the mirror and smile, if they want to wear something that they want to wear because that they think they look nice in, rather than somebody worrying about how somebody else will think they look, and just talk nicely to yourself, and just use that imagination just to think delightful thoughts and talk nicely to yourself. And I know it's easier said than done, because people come into his lives constantly, and negative thoughts come into his lives constantly, and people's energy comes into our lives constantly. The bad energy that people can bring, and they do bring, you just have to be a little bit careful of that, and just mindful of your own state of mind. You don't have to drop friends, drop people, but just be more caring and comfortable about yourself. It's kind of the way I look at things now.
I love that. I love the fact how you put together still that self-love and self-care into bravery and courageous, because I think you can be brave, but then stupidly brave without self-care and without having common sense. Like, we have lots of people being super stupid brave, right? But it's not the bravery which we want in life. Taking risks and being courageous in life and building businesses, as you said, living without any guarantee something will positive come out of this, but because you had a belief in yourself. This all is practicing bravery. This all is practicing your strength. But at the meantime, as you said, it's really important to actually be kind to yourself, and not to forget that you are still the most important human being in your own life.
What's your thoughts?
Yeah.
What's your thoughts, Olga? I remember one morning getting out of bed, taking 3 steps, and I was angry at a certain situation.
Oh, wow.
Something happened within my business with somebody who I took on, and something happened, and within 3 steps of getting out of my bed, I was angry. I thought, this is not nice. I don't like this. I don't want to be getting out of my bed in the morning and feeling angry straight away. But if you're not careful, your subconscious just brings you to them thoughts through things that have happened in the past. And you've got to be careful, and you've got to watch them thoughts, because they're there. And forgiveness as well. Forgiving people for these things. Forgiveness is a big thing on what people may have done to you in the past. This gentleman who did something to me with my business, I saw him 3 months later, and I gave him a hug, and I said to him, I hope you feel better. I hope you get better. And he said to me, you shouldn't be saying that to me.
Wow.
I didn't. But for me, when I walked away from that situation, I felt amazing. And that was all gone. All the anger was gone.
How powerful is that? I mean, those who are listening right now, I really would love to find out, would you be able to do that? Because to be able 3 months later to give somebody a hug who was not particularly nice towards your business, it takes a lot of balls. Excuse my friend, but you really need to have some balls for that. I mean, how did you do that? Like, what exactly have you been saying to yourself? What routine have you been doing in order to forgive him? What did you do? Have you been burning something, or like doing a voodoo doll? Like, what exactly did you do?
I put a grenade in his pocket.
Oh, that explains it all.
I just, it came naturally, really. It just came naturally. The guy had problems, and he had an illness, and I genuinely wanted him to get better, and wished that he'd get better, and then just the natural me came out to give him a hug and say, I wish you all the best. But I never thought how that had made me feel afterwards, and and holding the anger inside for people, that's done things in the past here. It doesn't do you any good. Definitely doesn't do you any good. So there's a lot of circumstances, a lot of things that may be ingrained in you from past experiences going back 10, 15, 20 to your childhood, you know, and learning to let go of them for you it really will release you. It really will make you empowered.
I love that. And this is so true. But the best thing what we can do is just let things go. And you mentioned there's something about him being ill. And well, just simply because I work with a lot of people, I know how our subconscious affects and impacts our body. You know, my first question would be straight to her, like, oh, how many more things he've done like he did with you, in order for his body to show him that, hey, there is something you're doing wrong in your life. Look, you're already not well. You know, that's a sign something here is dodgy. Right. And it's quite interesting how I know probably right now there'll be massive debate between people about, yeah, but what about those babies who are born being ill? And I'm like, well, yeah, let's dig deeper into mothers who were pregnant, what they were thinking, right? Because everything is connected. Baby's connected to mother, what mother was thinking, what she was feeling and experiencing. But what are your thoughts about, how our mind and what we do in life towards other people, other businesses in your case, how that affects our health, how it affects our body, mental health, and ourselves in general? Do you have any opinion on that?
Yeah, I mean, my business I've always ran as I make sure people are paid on time, are paid right. I want people to look at my business and think, I want to work with these guys. They are fantastic to work with. The staff are delightful. The payments are always on time. They're never trying to wangle out of this, that, and the other. And I think that stature and that admiration is something I've always been proud of. Just being able to walk down the street and hold my head high. It's just something that I was brought up with. Something that it came naturally to treat others well, and it really does affect your soul. It really does feed you a lot of empowerment, because we all know what's right or wrong inside. We all know what's, this morning I had an instance where we've had a customer pay us twice in February, and like, no, ring him up, tell him that he's paid us twice and give him the money back. No qualms. Let's just do it. And it's just doing things right, isn't it? Doing things properly.
Yeah. I love that. Yes, having common sense and doing things right. Because again, very often people go into revengeful mode, and in a situation which you have been when that person did something against your business, many people would go into revenge and they would do some horrible stuff. And I always say, you know what, whatever you do, you think is bad, but I always say, leave it to karma, leave it to life. Because life knows way better what is the best punishment for that person. Life knows best, what is the way how to show that person what he or she did wrong. Because whatever we do, we think it's important, but it might be not important at all. So it's very important to really let it go and practice forgiveness and practicing just being you as a bigger person.
Yeah. Investing in yourself, I through my books and through learning and reading on this journey with my books, and talk about it, putting 10% of what you earn into yourself.
Yes.
So you don't have to be a business owner to do that. You don't have to be, a high flying executive to do that.
Yeah.
Put 10% of what you earn into yourself, whether it's a coach, whether it's a business coach, whether it's a life coach, whether it's a meal prep, whether it's the gym, just try and focus on the 10% that you can put back into yourself to make you feel better, whether it's, I don't know, 10% a month that you spend on buying yourself some nice clothes and go for yourself, it's just something to make you feel good.
Yeah, this is so powerful what you said there. Those 10%, because very often people say, yeah, but I don't have time or don't have money for whatever what you said there, one and another thing. And I always say, well, if your car breaks down, what do you do? Well, I fix it. Okay, interesting. And in that case, what if your house needs renovation? What will you do then? Well, I'll fix it. Okay. What if I know all of a sudden somebody will need some financial help? What you gonna do? Well, I'll help them. What about you?
Mm.
Right? And people very often they put themselves in the very last place in their list above everybody
Yeah,
else, even above their
yeah,
pets. Even
yeah.
above their, they don't put even themselves above their pets. Pets are coming first. Dogs, cats, insurance, and everything else, and then me. And I'm like,
Mm.
hang on a second. But once you are gone, all this list is gone with you.
Mm. Mm. Yeah,
So you should
yeah.
invest in yourself.
Yeah, yeah, just do something a little bit nice for yourself. I mean, a massage, 50, maybe may cost you £50 once a month, and it's just taking time out to do something nice for yourself. But then as you grow and and if your attitude is to earn more money and your attitude is to get up that chain of earning more wages, then that 10% certainly definitely grows. There's a story about a gentleman who has a tailor, and he has all these things where he has to invest a personal trainer and he has to invest this 10% back into himself. So no matter how much money, how many millions or tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands a year, he constantly has to put this 10% back into himself. And that's what that's what I've done. It's easy. It's obviously been tough times with COVID-19, and do we cut back? Do we cut back on this? Do we cut back on that? But I think looking after yourself, loving yourself, improving yourself, that's definitely something not to cut back on.
Absolutely. Because at the end of the day, you're the only one person here like you. And once you've gone, you've gone. Everything else, you can buy another house, you can buy another car, you can, I don't know, get a new dog, right? But you cannot get new yourself. You're the
Mm,
only one, right? And we
mm,
really care about everything else in our lives. And very often people forget about the most important asset of their lives. It is
mm, mm,
themselves. So,
mm,
oh
yeah.
my God, your words are just like music to my ears, completely. Love it, because I'm a big believer in that as well. I'm a big
Mm,
believer. And whenever people ask me, Olga, how did you become who you are, or what made you who you are? And I always say, well, it's not really me. It's other people who are working with me, on my mindset, like on everything what is here.
mm,
That would be just me
mm,
doing my
mm,
self-help. I probably would be probably still
mm,
on my journey.
mm,
Still would be like that
mm,
girl who was like 16 at
mm,
some point, right?
mm,
Because we all can only do so and so much when we are on our own. But when
mm,
somebody is challenging you, this is a different story.
mm, mm, mm.
Isn't
It
it?
is, yeah.
Yeah.
It is. It is. It is. It is. And something else I've learned is just to be patient. Personally, I've got goals. My business has come in first in that aspect and wanting to grow the business. But personally, I've been in the same house for 14 years. I've lived on the same estate for 14 years. I'd love to buy a new home. I'd love to move to a more beautiful place. But that'll happen. I've just showing that little bit of patience. And I think coming back to the imagination and thinking these positive thoughts and imagining where you want to be, and and having a moment to have a coffee and look at the blue sky and think about what beautiful clothes you might wear tomorrow, or what lovely thing you might make yourself for tea, or where you might go on holiday, and just daydream a bit. You're not going to come away from them thoughts sad, or thinking that you'd never wish them thoughts. You really won't.
Love that. This is so powerful. I really love that. And I think it's so important for all of us just to do that, to take that time for ourselves, to sit back, relax, imagine, daydream, we can call it that way, but actually to see where are we going? Where are we going? Who are we becoming
Mm,
as a result? This is so powerful. Well, Adrian,
mm.
I'm not sure if you noticed or not, but the time flew just like 5 minutes.
Awesome.
You
Awesome.
know,
I did notice. Yeah, I did notice.
wow, wow, this is shocking. Is there, I know you mentioned journaling. Is there anything else you would like to mention, maybe to share with people what else they can do in order to discover themselves on their journey in life?
um, yeah, I think, like we mentioned about the negative thoughts and hey, if you get stuck into a pizza one night, you know, don't feel guilty about it. Don't feel terrible about it. Get up the next morning, have your fruit, have your fish, think I enjoyed that pizza, smile at how tasty it was, and then get back in the game.
Love it. I love it. Yeah, I call it naughty day. This is my naughty day. And I say, well, this is my cheeky drink, and this is my cheeky chocolate, and this is my naughty croissant. And what's wrong with that? Exactly. Go and celebrate and come up with the reason why you have it, or even with just no reason. I love it, Adrian. Thank you so much. This is really powerful, because I think many people beat themselves up so often for, yeah, but I had to exercise 7 days a week. I only did 5. I mean, 5 is better than none.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, good. Oh, thank you so much, Adrian. If people want to get in touch with you, what would be the best way to get in touch with you? Obviously, I'll put the links below the video, but do you want to share with people how they can get in touch with you?
Yeah, obviously, I'm Adrian Sullivan. I'm on LinkedIn. Please connect with me on LinkedIn. That would be fabulous. Parcel Pass Transport is here. We are up and running. We are moving stuff all over the UK and Europe. We're sea freighting, we're air freighting in and out of anywhere in the world, most places. So if we can help, if we can move anything, no matter how urgent or what you need, we've got a team of people here that care and that will work with you and build a relationship with you. So like I say, I'm on LinkedIn. My email address, adrian@parcelpass.co.uk. Contactable anyway like that.
I love that. And I love the fact how various ways of deliveries you have. Even see, I'm like, wow, that's mind blowing. How did you do that? That's amazing. We have actually a very lovely comment here from Maria. She says, great time this last hour was. Thank you so much, Maria. But
awesome.
Thank you,
Thank
Adrian,
you, Maria.
here with us. Exactly. Thank you, Adrian, for coming. I'm really, really grateful.
My pleasure.
Spread the time and all your wisdom which you have shared. I'm sure people are walking away with a lot of tips, and I was also sharing some tips of you what you were sharing in the meantime. I'm looking forward to see you. I'm looking forward to meet you again, and let us know when you buy a new house. Let's do the housewarming party.
Okay.
Live.
Sounds good. I will.
That's great. Thank you so much, Adrian, and thank you everybody for watching.
My pleasure. Bye everyone. Thanks.